And another great evening, WNBA and women's basketball fans, and welcome back in, folks, to the WNBA 365 Network, your 24/7, 365 comprehensive home for everything revolving around the WNBA and the rest of the women's basketball universe. Back with you, folks, on night number 2 of Rio 2016 women's hoops coverage. Good evening, folks, alongside the SoCal crew this evening, Crystal Thomas and Tanisha Stewart, both up in Los Angeles. Cal McClure joining you folks here from Studio 171 in San Diego on episode number 2 of the Olympics and episode number 303 for the network here this evening. KT and Shorty, good to see you guys tonight. More great action in the Olympics today for the 4 games today. How's it going tonight? Good to see you.
Hey. How are y'all?
Hey, I'm good.
Everything is everything, guys. And, of course, folks, Facebook and Twitter, like normal, wide open for you folks. So hit us up tonight on Facebook at facebook.com/WNBA365, or hit us up on Twitter, like normal, at WNBA365, at Calamac3, at ShortyMamba24, or at Pup1010 with the hashtag WNBA365. Or if you're viewing us live tonight, folks, hit up the live chat box, and we will get to your commentary when we have a break or some free time here during the course of the broadcast this evening, guys. 3 games, I should say, today across pool play or group play, at least for today. Excuse me. Here for this Tuesday, we'll begin, guys, with our first game of the day between the Australian Opals and the French national team. It is Australia winning the game today, 89-71 over France today. Notable names for the Aussies today: Leilani Mitchell with 3 points, and Penny Taylor with 31 points today for the Opals earlier today. Liz Cambage with 16 points, and also notably for the Aussies today, Erin Phillips with 9 points, Mariana Tolo with 14, and Kayla George with 3 points for the Opals today. Notably for the French national team, Sandrine Gruda, formerly of Los Angeles in 2014, with 10 points in the game for the French side today for the ball game, but again, the Aussies winning 89-71. So again, Shorty, PT carries the load for the Aussies today, but again, some other good production though behind her from Cambage in the paint, and also Tolo as well with 14 points. Phillips shipping in 9 points today as well. Shorty, overall thoughts on the Opals' victory today over France to kick off the next day of coverage, or next day at least, for Rio women's hoops. What do you think?
I did not get to see this game, but just looking at the box score overall, it seemed like, it was a pretty, great victory for Australia. I mean, Penny Taylor, 31 points, 9 assists? Oh my goodness, this is probably one of her best performances of the Olympic Games so far. But, yeah, and then the other ones, then Cambage, Tolo with 14, and she's one of the rookies of, the Australian squad, but, she played pretty well as well. And just looking at the team comparisons, I mean, both teams pretty much shot evenly. I think the one stat that stand out was, 3-point percentage. France didn't do all that good from the 3-point line, just 27% versus 47% from Australia, so that was one of the things that carried them over in this victory.
Shorty, I'll echo the stat for you real quick, too, for the Aussies today, too. 92.9% from the free throw line compared to France shooting 76.2% from the free throw line. So, obviously, the Aussies being aggressive and penetrating, going in low to Cambage, but also as well, forcing France to foul them and making making the free throws when they count the most. And, of course, France either not really establishing down low post play, or also not being aggressive going towards the basket today in the ball game. And again, Crystal, to echo what Shorty said though about Penny Taylor today, PT again 31 points in the victory for the Opals today, 10 of 13 from the field, and 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Also made all 8 of her free throws today. 5 rebounds, 9 assists, as Shorty already alluded to as well in the game. It was also a plus 26 in efficiency in the game. Crystal, overall takeaway from the Aussies' victory over France today in your mind, what do you think?
I, too, like Shorty, unfortunately missed it. I think I was watching my eyelids at that time. But but for France, I mean, I think for France, I kind of saw a France loss coming, especially the way that they beat Belarus. It was such a close game and how they almost lost that one. And I believe I can't remember who they played before Belarus, but I believe that was a close game as well, and they barely got away with that one. So I saw a loss for them coming. I believe this is their first loss of the tournament. Correct me if I'm wrong, people out there in computer land. But I see this one coming to me. Australia's a tough team. They're a strong team. I didn't think France would be able to hang with them anyway. And it was proven today that they were. And Penny Taylor just had an awesome game. And this lets you know that she's retiring this year, but she seems like she still has a little bit of game left in her. But, you know, like I said yesterday, if your body just can't go, then you can't go.
Shorty, I want to kind of bring this up real quick, though, about this. And I know that we are seeing Penny Taylor at least calling it quits on the W side, but Shorty, would you probably think, though, that Penny Taylor might give 2020, you know, or give the national team for the Aussies at least one more go-round before officially calling quits? Because there is two more chances for her to play for the Aussies. Again, there's going to be one in 2018 with the FIBA tournament plus 2020. Shorty, yay or nay, would you probably say yes or no about PT playing perhaps post the WNBA retirement, at least after the season is over with? Yes or no? What do you think?
It could go either way, but at this point, I would say no, because you know when they talked to her about retiring, you know, she pretty much, you know, made it clear that she was going to retire, and also she talked about, you know, learning a lot on the sidelines from Sandy Brondello and how she would like to go into coaching. So I think that would be one of the things she venture off into post her playing career.
So, Crystal, Shorty will say no, but what do you think, though? Do you think that Penny may give, again, this is a maybe, again, give the Aussies one more shot after the WNBA season does end, maybe in 2018 or maybe 2020? What do you think and why?
I agree with Shorty. I think she's done. I don't think she has anything left in the tank. I mean, she's given the WNBA and Phoenix some really great years, and she's won rings with them. I think for Penny Taylor, this is probably the end. And you know, honestly, if you're a fan of that, you probably want to see her go out like she's going out with a good Olympic game, and hopefully for Phoenix and Phoenix fans a playoff run. But I think she's finished.
I think all of us agree with that aspect. And moving on now, Shorty, getting back now into the fray with France now. Rough day again for the French team shooting the ball again today. They only put up 29 points in the first half and, again, struggled out of the gate, at least in the second half as well, again, putting up 21 points in both quarters. But, again, struggled on a struggle bus today again. They did have 4 players, though, in double figures today, and again, Sandrine Gruda, notably for WNBA fans, again, with 10 points. Notably for France, but I guess, Shorty, I know that France has pretty much, you know, had to eke out a couple close games, or at least eke out a close game already earlier on. So, Shorty, I guess, what are your thoughts about for France in regards to this loss today, handed to them by Australia?
Yeah, I think I pretty much predicted the last show that France wouldn't pull out a victory in this, and of course, I guess I was pretty much correct, because I think Crystal brought up, you know, the post play, you know, of Australia, and that seems like that was one of the things that did affect France, because only a mere 10 points for Gruda, only 7 for Yakubo, who's 2 of their best post players on, you know, the French national team. So it looks like, you know, the post play of Cam Bage affected France in this game.
You know, Crystal, that was the issue that we all brought up on the panel last night, was it was going to be the post-play establishment of either if Australia got Cam Bage going early, it was going to be a long day, and that was pretty much what it turned out to be for France in the post today. Again, Gruda, again, with only 10 points, notably for France. But I guess, Crystal, maybe other than post-play, what other problems do you think they'll plague the French team today in the loss to the Opals?
Defense was probably, from what I looked at, because obviously I missed the game, unfortunately, but I would say defense was probably a major factor. For some reason, France just couldn't move their feet well from the games that I did watch, which is how Belarus ended up almost beating them, except for when France came back. But I would say defensive rebounding was probably their weak point. You know, like Shorty said, they really didn't have anybody but Gruda, and I don't want to butcher her name. I think it's Ipopa. I'm so bad with European names, like Ipopa or something. I hope that's what it is. I'm sorry if I disrespect your name, but those 2 were their main players so far, and especially in the Olympics, you're going to need definitely more than just two options, especially on the international level with these tournaments. But I just think France wasn't as strong as a team when it came to this point, and they took their first loss. I think it's their first loss. I don't want to say that and not be, but they took a loss today.
Getting into the chat box quick, guys. The man in the box, Todd Mintz, wants to comment and say, and I believe he's right here, Shorty. We'll start with you, almost. He says, really can't get a pulse on who is good and who is not good. I say that because France beats Turkey, then Turkey wins today. Belarus loses, then beats Brazil today. So I guess, Shorty, what would you want to say, though, to echo Chuck's here about both hot and cold play so far to begin the opening round of group play stage here for the Olympics?
I would say Todd is correct. And the thing, now looking at this Olympic playing field, it's pretty much Team USA and everyone else. So every other team is on an even level playing field, except for Team USA, who has always, just separated themselves from the pack.
And again, Crystal, to kind of echo the statement that Todd put in the chat box, and he says, really cannot get a pulse on who is really good and who is not. I say that because France beats Turkey, and then Turkey wins today. Belarus loses and then beats Brazil today. So, Crystal, we agree, though, with Todd that so far it's been both hot and cold play so far. From the rest of the field more so, other than Team USA through the first couple days of group play.
I think because we're used to seeing Team USA be so dominant that we think there's not really anybody else. But I think honestly that just lets you know how good some international teams are. I mean, with the exception of, I hate to say it, Senegal, who was kind of still on the up and coming. Senegal was just not a team that was just very good. But I think a lot of the teams that are playing, for example, France is actually a pretty decent team. I just think Australia's just better. When it comes, same with Turkey. Who did Turkey? I was watching that game, so I cannot remember who Turkey played for the life of me. I have only Japan. There we go. Same with Turkey. I mean, Japan. I think Japan was just playing the weaker of the teams, and they ran into a team like Turkey, who's actually supposed to be a dominant team, unlike what they've been showing today. So I think it's just more so that international play is just so good, and we're so used to seeing America blur everybody out that when we see these other teams do well or play well, we're kind of just like, they did all right, with the exception of Senegal, unfortunately. But I think it's just that we're so used to America just beating everybody by 1,000 points each game.
Again, folks, the Aussies over France 89-71, final score in Group A. Other Group A matchup today, guys. Brazil again stumbles and stubs their toe, losing again inside or in Rio. Belarus clips them 65-63. Brazil led for one quarter, guys, and did not lead for the remainder, or at least did not score or win each quarter at least for the Brazilian team. Again, they lose to Belarus 65-63. Notable box and names for Brazil today. Looking over some of the roster for the day, Izzy Marquez Castro with 6 points. Clarissa Dos Santos with 17, and Demarius Dantas 23 points for her. And Erica de Souza held to 4, and Natalie Cojaldo held to 2 points for Brazil. And for Belarus, notably, Lindsey Harding, 12 points for the Belarus side again in the 65-63 victory. So, Shorty, a game that comes down to the wire. But again, Brazil, as we said, as I also said yesterday again, we have seen time and time again, guys, host nation teams or host nation athletes in the Olympic Games always seem to crumple under the pressure, playing underneath the big lights on the big stage in their home country. So again, Shorty, back-to-back days that we see Brazil go down in losing efforts. And again, Belarus, who we saw hang around yesterday but losing, but again today coming back though and getting a W more importantly. Today I think for Brazil was, they relied too much on Izzy Marquez Castro so far to begin today. And again, some very, very, rough scoring droughts for Cojaldo and De Souza. And again, it was Dantas today with 23 points, Dos Santos with 17, and again, Izzy only has 6 points for Brazil today. Shorty, overall thoughts on Brazil's play today and also for the past couple games too early on here in their backyard in Rio?
Yeah, overall for Brazil, they have not had a good run in the Olympics so far. Right now, 0-3 in competition play, but just for this game, I mean, they actually got out to a pretty good start. They were hitting all of their shots and whatnot, and But I think it was by the second quarter, Belarus started to chip away. And at halftime, they were only up by 5, 40 to 35, with Brazil leading. But just in that third quarter, I mean, just everything broke down for Brazil. And by the time they got to the fourth quarter, I mean, they lost their magic pretty much, even though they did have, some good scoring from Dos Santos and Dantes. They actually had a double-double. It was 17 and 11, and then 23 and 10 for Dos Santos and Dantes. But the other culprits, their main players on the team, just a mere 6 points for Izzy, points for De Souza, so they didn't get enough from their main players.
And also, Todd Mintz echoes more stats, guys. He also says they had 18 more turnovers. They had 20 in the last game they played just last night. So obviously a big problem there with Brazil. But again, Crystal, again, I'm not sure if it was probably defensive, but again, more so of a turnover factor has been the big problem and culprit, as Shorty alluded to, about Brazil's play so far. But again, it was good again to see, Dantes and Dos Santos, but again, Izzy Marquez Anderson goes MIA, that it was only 6 points. Cojaldo has 2. De Souza only with 4. I know that, and she played 30 minutes too, and then again, this wasn't there today. But again, Crystal, your thoughts, I guess, about Brazil's woes again with another loss in group play.
Well, for one, is there a point guard on Brazil that can match up with Lindsey Harding's speed? I mean, I was just watching how quick she was, and I knew she was quick, but her being, 32, 33 years old, I think she's like 32, I'd have to check. She 32. Has not lost any speed. She has not lost any speed at all, and I noticed that, of course, watching her play with the Mercury, but the way she's beating half of her teammates down the court sometimes, and that would cause for a lot of times she had to do that thing that I hate sometimes. They have to go underneath the basket and dribble out, and it's because she was beating her players down the court, and I think that's half of the reason why Brazil couldn't really match up with them very well. I mean, the way that Lindsey Harding runs that offense, she's running it well, she's quick, they can't really stop her. And then on top of that, there was a point in the game where it got kind of sloppy, where Belarus just started throwing passes everywhere, and they were just very errant passes, and Brazil was stealing and taking every pass. But I think as far as athleticism goes, Belarus was just too much for them on that end. But I think Belarus was too small compared to Brazil when it came to their post players and the size of the teammates they were playing. So I think, honestly, it was a really good game. I think I called Belarus winning yesterday, if I remember. So
you did.
Cookies for me. But it was a close game, and Brazil, they tried, they're the host nation. They tried to give their country a show, but they just failed today.
Shorty, going out to Belarus, and Lindsey Harding notably 12 points in the game, also dished out 6 dimes in the winning effort again. And more so, it was them kind of, weathering the storm, I guess, from the Brazilian side. Again, they were trailing 28-16, but again, they battled back and won the last 3 quarters all in the line score in the second quarter, 19-12, 15-10, 15-13 across the board in the second, third, and fourth quarter. So it seemed like that they really kind of turned things around, I guess, after the first quarter ended. But I guess, Shorty, overall thoughts on Belarus, again, taking down Brazil today in group play.
I mean, it was a much better effort from the team overall, and, not to attack them or whatever the case may be, because it's been like that for Belarus for, the past few games. It's just that they, haven't been lucky. But in this game, I mean, they continue to, keep the score close. Like I said, they were just down by 5 at halftime, and they battled back. And, also I think mental mistakes, cost them, their past 2 games. But in this game, when it came down to, the final seconds, they held it in altogether, and they got the victory. Better scoring from the players overall, 4 players in double figures. Lachunga as well with 15 points. One of her better efforts, 12 points for Lindsay. So it was a good overall victory for the team.
Again, Crystal, Belarus winning 65-63. Again, they were pretty much in the game again. They were down, 5 points at halftime again. And that's probably a point, though, where they really said, there's no pressure, don't, let's not get tense or whatnot. But they did, though, again, rally back to win this game once more. And again, Lindsey Harding had another great game. And as you said, though, again, probably too fast for the smaller court that they do play on in FIBA and for the Olympic Games this year as well. But again, Crystal, how about your overall thoughts again about Belarus again weathering the storm and again getting the victory, more importantly, over Brazil today?
Oh man, I'm happy they finally got a win. I really did not want to see them go out that way. I mean, I think it's still a little bit too late for them to actually try to compete for any type of medal. But I think for them, it's a moral victory to know that they didn't, lose all 3 games they've played in so far. So I'm happy they won. I was getting kind of worried there, but I think I gave them some good luck because I was rooting for them.
And by the way, a quick stat to know, folks, from Todd Minty says Brazil must win 2 games in a row and final 2 games to qualify for the medal round stage. And if they don't win those 2 games in a row, they are going to be eliminated from the next round, guys. Last game from today in Group A play was Turkey and Japan. Turkey gets the victory over Japan, 76-62 at one point, led 24-9 after the opening quarter play, led by Laura Sanders today from Washington with a 36-point game for Saunders in the victory, and notably for Japan, Ramu Tokashiki with 13 points in the losing effort for the Japanese national team today. Sure, I know that you caught most of this game today, and it was pretty much a in fuego matchup, and also was seeing Saunders again lighting up Japan today. Again, 36-point effort for her in the game. Shorty, thoughts about Turkey's victory over Japan in your mind? What do you think?
Oh man, from start to finish, it was just no competition. Turkey just steamrolled over Japan, and I think it was Crystal and Eric last night who actually picked Turkey to win, and I picked Japan, and of course I was wrong. So I was like 1-2 in my predictions last night. But yes, there was just no answer for Saunders, and the reason why she ended up, putting up 36 points, there was just no answer. The post players for Japan, just couldn't match up with her. Whether, she had, her back to the basket or either pick and roll coverage, she was just dominating in every aspect of the floor, and there was no answer. I mean, I'd say near like the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, it was a 10-point game, but it was just too much of Saunders, too much of Turkey, and that was game.
Pretty much, Crystal, all Turkey from start to Michigan. They were up 24-9 after the opening frame had ended after the first 10 minutes of play. Again, the biggest lead was 25 points in this game for for Turkey. That again, they led for 38 minutes and change of the game. Japan led for 54 seconds in the game, and again, Laura San with 36 points and a very great effort. Crystal, overall thoughts about the Turkish national team's victory over Japan in your mind? What do you think?
I mean, I saw that coming. I just didn't think Japan was strong enough to beat the Turkish national team. Jeez, that's a tongue twister. I actually was surprised. I was actually surprised Japan was doing as well as they were doing. But I mean, I'm not surprised they lost to Turkey. Like I was saying yesterday, Turkey is supposed to be a powerhouse team that's normally in the Olympics, that normally does well. I think for Turkey, for them, I guess, I mean, it's a win. I don't know if it's well, you could say it's a convincing win. Saunders had 36 points, but I don't know if it's a convincing win for them as well as like, okay, this is the team that we need to beat. Because obviously, any team in the Olympics you need to beat. But I think they would have been better if they would have beat like a team like France or Australia or something. But a win's a win for them, and they pulled it off like I kind of knew they would. But I mean, they should be happy with Japan with the drop. I don't want to call it dropping because they really didn't whip Japan like that. But they should be happy with this victory over Japan.
So again, folks, to recap Group A action from Rio today, again, Australia over France, 89-71, Belarus over Brazil, 65-63, and Turkey over Japan, 76-62. All 3 games, folks, are all Group B games beginning at 8:15 Rio de Janeiro time. We'll go around the perimeter here, guys, get picks and thoughts. First up, guys, is China and Spain at 8:15 local time. Shorty, who you got and why?
China, Spain. Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb and pick China.
All right, so we got one vote for China. Crystal, how about you?
I can see why she picked China. I'm gonna pick Spain. I think they could get it done. So I'm gonna say Spain by 5.
I'm going to go with Spain as well. I think that they probably have more league, at least more W, and perhaps probably some more talent. I think in China, of course, guys, we've seen them play. They have played well in spurts, but again, I think that Spain will take the game, of course, guys, as well at 11:30 a.m. local time in Rio. I'm going to probably assume, take a look, it's going to be about 8 or 11 a.m. Pacific time, perhaps. We'll figure that out, though, later. Team USA will face Serbia tomorrow, but Shorty, more importantly, though, before we get to a pick about who's going to win the game, Shorty, how about instead of giving us a pick or a prediction of the game, final margin of victory for Team USA in your mind is going to be either over or under 40. What do you think?
Over 40.
Jeez.
So we have. So Shorty's going to say USA over 40 in the victory. Crystal, how about you?
Man, I don't know. I'll say directly 40, so 40 for me.
40 on the spot. I'll say at or below 40. So I'll actually push and say at or below 40. More importantly for that game, but I guess Shorty, I guess kind of be a little bit more, be a bit more realistic. I guess Shorty. Overall prediction, I guess USA or Serbia. What do you think of why?
USA.
One vote.
USA is just yeah.
All right, we got one vote for Team USA. Crystal, how about you?
I'm gonna go with Team USA as well. I mean, you see how Team USA is playing; they're just so dominant. I think Team USA is gonna go all the way, but I mean, they're just too dominant. I don't know. I think Serbia's a young team. I don't think they have the experience yet to actually compete with a team like Team USA. So I'm gonna go with Team USA.
All three going with Team USA, and again, we have one vote for over 40, and 2 people at or below 40 for victory. For margin of victory for Team USA. And then, guys, as well in Group B play, Senegal and Canada, 1:45 Rio time tomorrow. Shorty, who you got and why?
Canada. Like we said, sorry not to continue to throw dirt on Senegal, but they're just happy to be there. So Canada is taking this matchup.
One vote for our friends in the Great White North. Crystal, how about you?
Canada. I mean, I'm glad Senegal got to experience the Olympics. Hopefully, in the next 4 years, there'll be a team that's, since they've been there, they be a team that's a little bit more, I guess, ready. Because right now they're just not ready, and it's no one's fault. This is their first time. So I'll go with Canada. Let's make it a game, Senegal. Let's make it a game.
Yeah, that would be nice if we actually get some close games. But I'll take a Molson Canadian beer for that game tomorrow. So I'll take the Canadians tomorrow. And as a quick, I want to say something here real quick. Todd just wanted to inform me. Brazil is 4 hours ahead of the PAC time zone. So that is going to technically be, looks like it'll be a, let's see, 12, 1, 2, 3, at least a 4 o'clock start, but I don't know if it's going to be a.m. or p.m., but we'll work on getting that game time for you folks later on in the evening. But again, for the schedule for tomorrow, again, folks, once more, China, Spain, 8:15 Rio time, USA, Serbia at 11:30, and Senegal and Canada at 1:45. All three of those game times, folks, again, are, again, Rio de Janeiro, and Brazilian daylight time, start times for those 3 games. Other than that, guys, real quick, wanting to go and, I guess, kind of just touch base on the overall games in general, guys. I know that basketball is just one of many events that goes on during the course of the Olympic Games over the summer. I was kind of go around the perimeter real quick. Shorty, if there, I think we always hear this question being asked. But Shorty, other than hoops, what is like maybe your other favorite Olympic events to watch over the summer and why?
Oh, I've been watching, many events. I've been watching the one event that I've been keeping up with so far is U.S. Women's Gymnastics, who just, recently won gold with their new nickname, the Final Five. Oh my goodness, Simone Biles is just spectacular. And Gabby Douglas, they're still doing her thing. I think her name is Lori Hernandez. She's also solid as well. Great, athlete for Team USA. So Team USA gymnastics just been on fire overall. I would say U.S. women's soccer as well. Who's just been doing great. They got in a draw with Colombia today, but they'll still advance. In their group. And also, I'm trying to think of who else, because I've just been watching so many games, gymnastics, soccer, along with basketball and other sports as well. I can't think of the others because it's too many. Oh, I've seen Serena. My goodness, poor Serena and Venus, not doing so well in these Olympic games. First getting knocked out of doubles, and then Serena just got knocked out of a singles competition today. But those two will eventually come back. Uh, at this point, they're just hopefully good enough for silver, but hopefully in 2020 they'll come back and win gold for USA.
Real quick, folks, a quick clarification on that start time for Team USA. USA Serbia, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, 2:30 Eastern. The game can be seen live and in full on NBC-SN. That is channel 1640 if you are like me and on AT&T Uverse. If not, please check your local listings for the NBC Sports Network channel for that contest. But I guess, Crystal, other than women's hoops for Team USA, what other Olympic events have you been keeping an eye on, though, so far during the Olympics in Rio, and why?
You're going to laugh at some of the choices that I have here. But like Shorty, I've been watching gymnastics, a.k.a. gymnastics. Like she said, Team USA, I mean, they impress me every Olympic year. I mean, these girls, they're a future. I mean, if this is what the future of women's gymnastics looks like, I'm all for it. They make me want to go out there and learn how to do a backflip or two or something so I can get on them balance beams and get me a medal or something. But boxing's been very interesting. If anybody hasn't known, they are no longer boxing with headgear. So it's been some really, really, really good fights going on. I've kind of been watching beach volleyball here and there, but it kind of not really. I'm waiting for track. Can't wait for track. I was even watching canoeing. When they go around the little thing with the kayak. I was over there like, go ahead with your bad self. And then handball. Handball is so interesting. I still don't know how the scoring in handball works exactly, but it is a very interesting sport. Handball, rugby was cool. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've just kind of been watching whatever. So I mean, this is the only time in the Olympics that I'll sit there and I'll watch ping pong for like 3 hours or something like that. So I've just been pretty much watching anything that I could watch that's been pretty much that looks like they've been dominating. But boxing's been my favorite so far, outside of basketball and swimming.
I'm very amazed that you guys did not bring up. Oh, go ahead.
I said also volleyball.
Yeah. Of course.
I was going to say I'm very, very, not taken back, but a little bit shocked that you guys did not bring up Katie Ledecky and the U.S. women's swimming team as well. But guys, both swimming teams, of course. Michael Phelps, again, 21 gold medals now, again, winning 2 more this evening in 2 other events. And then Katie Ledecky, of course, winning. And even Lily King, guys, who, of course, made national news as well by defeating a swimmer from Russia. Of course, guys, we've seen in all the fallout, too, with the Russian Athletic Federation, too, with the doping news going on as well. But I mean, swimming's been probably one of the things I've been watching, and who cannot love her, or who cannot, or who can hate on April Ross and Kelly Walsh, Kerry Walsh Jennings again winning their match last night, guys, in 35 minutes yesterday to win in 2 sets on the beach yesterday. But more so, this is kind of with the summer games I get hyped for a lot of things, but swimming has probably been the biggest thing that my folks and I've been watching has been Michael Phelps, Ledecky, and all these other, great swimmers for Team USA, and of course gymnastics. Of course, they are right now the darlings of the U.S. media right now. It's been great to see the final 5, of course, with them winning all around gold today as well. So there's been a lot of great stuff. And again, folks, hopefully you all have enjoyed the have enjoyed the Olympics so far. Again, we've had a lot of great events going on so far with the Olympic Games, but again, Team USA basketball will be back in action tomorrow. Again, that is going to be a 11:30 a.m. Pacific time start, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time start. That game, again, is on NBCSN. Again, that is going to be channel 1640 on AT&T Universe. I only know because I have the AT&T Universe in my household. If not, please check your local listings for the game tomorrow. But again, USA and Serbia at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time and 2:30 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. With that, Shorty and Chris, we'll get now to everyone's final thoughts and final take. Shorty, what do you got about the final your final take on today's action in Group B in Group A play of women's hoops in Rio de Janeiro?
I think it was another great day of basketball action. You know, I'm happy that Belarus actually pulled out a win, and another great matchup between Japan and Turkey. And of course, props to Australia for being the first team to go up 3-0 in a competition. And hopefully, you know, more of, you know, it'll bring the same thing, you know, tomorrow, more action.
And Crystal, how about your final thoughts and final take on today's action in Rio?
I mean, it's been historical for one. You see somebody get 20 gold medals. It's been fun to watch. It's been very competitive. This has pretty much been the Olympics you could ask for, despite all of the drama that's going on in Rio. But I mean, it's been pretty cool so far. I'm enjoying it, and I just can't wait to see who beats who in canoeing tomorrow. I'm excited.
You know, guys, and it normally happens, but so far for Rio, and this happens every Olympic Games, guys, with political nonsense and corruption and whatnot going on in a certain host city. But once more, but at least for right now, guys, Rio right now is smelling fresh like a rose right now through so far with all the great Olympic coverage of games that we've seen so far. At least so far, but it's been the case in Rio so far today at this point. But again, guys, Team USA around 2-0 again. They will look to extend their winning streak to 44 straight wins, and they'll take on Serbia tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 Eastern Time on NBCSN. With that, folks, we will call it a night and wrap things up for the evening. And again, folks, glad to have you guys again back with us here again tonight. Back with more with you folks tomorrow night back here, beginning our show again at 9:30 Pacific Time, 12:30 a.m. Eastern, again back here on WNBA 365 Olympics. Such with that, though, folks, up until tomorrow night. For Crystal Thomas and Tanisha Stewart, both up in Los Angeles, Cal McCurgan, San Diego, signing off. And again, folks, we'll see you back here tomorrow for more exciting Olympic basketball coverage. Folks, take care and good night. Bye-bye.